Have you ever been so in love with a man that you would choose him over God? Well, that's exactly what I did when I married my husband. The Bible says you should have no other gods before me. Well, you see, I met my husband when I was 15 years old. The first guy to ever come over my house at the age of 16. But I didn't want to date him because my dad was an alcoholic and we didn't have many things. But I saw Jamie, drinking beer. It bothered me. So I decided not to date him. Okay. So fast forward, end up dating somebody else, end up marrying somebody else. So now, but I end up getting a divorce and I have these two kids now, right? So I moved back home. Um, Between that time period, me and Jamie did date briefly in college, maybe about 2 years. Um, well, I had had a baby by another guy. I dated him like 3.5 years, had a baby by him. That didn't work. And so Jamie had wanted me to start dating him, so I did with one child. We dated about 2 years, got engaged. I was like, okay, we're engaged. I've graduated from college now. Let's get married. But he had told me he didn't want to marry me till he turns 31. Well, the problem with that, I was like 22, 23. He's 2 years older than me, so that would have made him about or 23, 25, something like that. And so when I graduated, it was 1998, and I knew I wanted to be married. I did love him. I knew he loved me, but he was not ready to settle down. He was good with me, just live with him, and I brought my daughter to live with me because I couldn't keep her until I finished school. Now we're living together. I'm engaged. I got this engagement ring, and he's telling me I'm not going to marry you, hurling insults at me because I did not make the right amount of money he wanted me to make. So I ended up, leaving him for another guy, which he cried. He cried about it. I married this guy. It was a bad decision because I realized, um, looking back, I was not ready to be married to him. Going from dating somebody, and then next minute you married to somebody else. It was a bad decision. The guy that I married was insecure. He really pushed the issue for me to marry him, and I think he did it because I think he believed that I may have still been in love with Jamie. 2 weeks within the marriage, I remember thinking, well, I'm in the will of God. I'm no longer fornicating, and I said, I'm just gonna at some point I'm gonna give my life to Christ. That was the goal, and but I realized I said, something's wrong about this relationship. I did not love him. I had married somebody that I did not love. I married somebody based off because I was hurt from another guy. I didn't give myself a chance to heal from what Jamie, the word curse he was speaking over me. The relationship was bad. Um, I married him in December. March, I was telling myself I'm going to leave him. I'm going to get this marriage annulled, and I'm going home to live with my parents. They just gonna have to talk about me from up and marrying somebody I barely knew. But I found out I was pregnant, and so here I am with another baby. Fast forward, I'm having another baby. The marriage went downhill, so I went home to be with my parents to get on my feet. Jamie, he had also moved, and so I contacted one of my friends. I was like, "Hey, call him, tell him, that I'm sorry about how I left him, and that I left him for another guy." I felt bad about it. I'm young. I'm now 24 years old with two kids. I tell my friend to call Jamie. She did. She told him what had happened, that I was, basically getting a divorce and with two kids, right? And so, once we end up getting divorced, Jamie moves back to where I live, close to where I live, and I end up moving in with him. We just lived together until he decided to marry me, which was the age of 31 years old. And I knew it was wrong because I came from the background of Christianity. My mom grew up, she was Pentecostal. I never seen her in pants or makeup, only seen her in dresses. Jamie told me, well, nobody's going to marry you with two kids. This is it. This is the best you're going to be able to do. You're going to wait till this man marry you. He had a good paying job. And I knew he loved me, but I knew he was still hurt that I left him. He was hurt because you got to remember, I met him at 15. I was a virgin, and with no children. You're marrying a woman with two kids, two different dads to deal with, right? And I ended up getting my tubes tied because my dad had told me to stop having babies by every man you see, right? Jamie and I did get married. He had told me he was gonna quit drinking. He's gonna do take one day per week until he stops drinking. So I agreed to it. We were going to premarital counseling, which is weird because it's a good thing to get premarital counseling, but how we did it was backward. What I should have been doing is giving my life to Christ, and if I had did that, I would have married Jamie. And so I knew that I had told myself I'm not going to give my life to Christ until He marries me. So fast forward, we get married. I'm in love, he's in love. We had unforgiveness in our hearts. And so when he, got mad at me, he would throw up stuff. And when I got mad at him, I would throw up stuff that he did in the past. And so, what I realized is not enough for two people to just love each other. You need to be whole. And we were not whole. Yes, we loved each other, but it's not enough because we had so much past trauma that we caused one another. You got two young people getting married that's broken and that's not saved. Fast forward, we're married over 20 years. Our marriage was up and down, up and down. He was getting DUIs. I don't know, he had a hard time not drinking. And he ended up drinking to the point, we had to get a transplant. 18 years of marriage, then he had to get a transplant. So I'm thinking, oh my God, then this is the first time since I met him at 15, basically, that he's not like really drinking for real. Like, and it was wonderful. I was so happy to be married to somebody that was not drinking. We were going to church. We was having Bible study together. It was good until it wasn't good. A commercial came on TV, and it was the Heineken Zeros, and he's like, okay. After his transplant, and he told himself, I can drink the Heineken Zeros because there's no alcohol in it. Now, I was not in agreement with Jamie drinking the non-alcoholic beers because I felt like it might lead to the real deal, beer with alcohol. So he did good, for about a year and a half of just drinking Heineken Zeros. He wanted to take a birthday trip to Dominican Republic. And so, over there they speak pretty much Spanish. And so he was asking, the servers, can he have a beer with non-alcohol? Because of the language barrier, they thought he was asking for um, beer with alcohol in it. So that's what they were giving him. And after that trip, my husband was hooked. About a year and a half from that trip, my husband ended up, dying from drinking, alcohol. After that trip, he kind of like stopped. He didn't want to go to church with me anymore. He didn't want to have Bible study with me anymore. Our marriage really changed. I am grateful, that in the end, on his deathbed, he did give his life to Christ. But I remember asking the Lord, once he passed, I was like, Lord, how did I, get in this situation? How am I a widow at 49 years old? And the Lord just reminded me, like, you chose him. You chose him over me. You believed the lies of the enemy that no man will want you because you had two kids. And I'm just like, you're right, Lord. Please forgive me. I wronged you. I did choose Jamie over you. And please forgive me. I think back now, I was willing, if you look at it, I was willing to go to hell for this man because I had told myself I am not going to give my life to Christ until he marries me. Those are dangerous thoughts, ladies, gentlemen, those are very, dangerous thoughts of having that you're telling yourself. No, I didn't come out saying that, I'm gonna, if I'm willing to die and go to help him. But that's what I was doing initially. That's what I was doing. I chose a man over God. I chose a man over God, and I was willing to go to hell for a man. And you might say, well, I will not go to hell for a man. But if you choose a man over God, you might not be, like me. What if you transition out of here and you don't have time to repent and you shacking up or fornicating because you love this man, you hoping he's going to marry you, or you hoping she's going to marry you, right? If it's a man. And so we have to be careful about the choices we make. And so one of my things was I wanted to be married at least 50 years. And I was just saying, Lord, it's not going to happen. All these prophetic words that I had received out the door. We were supposed to, prophetic words that we're going to do ministry together. But we couldn't do it. Why? Because of alcohol. Because I chose the wrong spouse. Now, did he love me? Did I love him? Yes. But guys, it's not enough. Please learn from my mistake. If you're single and you got children, or if you don't have children, please believe that God will give you a spouse, a saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost spouse that will love you and your children. And so do not compromise. Do not believe the enemy's lies. And so, guys, I just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully, my story will encourage someone to think twice before you settle and believe the enemy's lies that no one will want you if you have children. Until the next time, meet me back here at the Encouragement Corner with Darlette.